This is Diane Lanni, and I'm a former foster parent in Massachusetts. I'm talking today with my oldest biological daughter, Meghan, and we're going to talk today about how fostering impacted her transition to college and ultimately adult independence. Meghan, can you say hi?
Hi.
Meghan, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are currently?
I am 25 years old. I work for a security manufacturer. Worked there for about 3.5 years. I own my own home in my hometown, and I'm currently getting my master's degree as an MBA, and I graduated with an undergrad degree with math computer science at Boston University.
So, Meghan, when you went away to college, can you tell us a little bit about what that experience was like for you?
The beginning was a little bit rocky because I preferred to be home and surrounded by those people that I knew. But afterwards, it just became a daily routine, and I was still in communication with everyone at home.
Now, when you say everyone at home, how did you describe your family to others?
I confused everyone because I would start with, these are my brothers, and then these are also my brothers, and these are my sisters. And then they would look at us and be really confused because none of us look alike at all.
How did it make you feel when you were describing your family to your college friends?
It was difficult that no one understood. And then they would kind of just brush it off as, okay, I guess she has a weird family, but they make it work. I don't know how they do it, but they make it work. But I enjoyed almost confusing people because it made people think differently of what a family actually is. And to me, my family was those at the house and those I still stayed in communication with.
How do you think being a member of a foster family helped prepare you for that college transition?
The biggest way it probably prepared me was the ability to live with someone else. Because before foster care and even in the beginning, I used to always say, I'm going to live by myself. I'm not going to have a roommate. I'm going to get a single. I don't care. And then I eventually just said whatever, got a roommate, and her and I got along just fine. And my roommate couldn't do anything to irritate me because I had seen it all.
Did you see some of your friends, your peers in college struggle with that transition?
My own roommate was nervous of some of the other girls on the floor because they had Spanish last names, as she called it. So she wasn't sure she could handle their culture, their being, or she was nervous to be around them. And I had no such fears.
What were some of the thoughts and feelings that you were already prepared for? Perhaps your college peers weren't prepared for. You mentioned, racial and ethnic diversity as one of them. That's something that you grew up in a very diverse household. Were there other things that perhaps you were better prepared for than your peers?
I was better prepared for... I lived on an all-girls floor, so there was quite a few of the LGBTQ community, and some girls were okay with it and some girls were not, and that made no difference to me whatsoever. I was prepared for the different encounters, fire alarms at 3 a.m, or, that's actually how I met my closest friend in college, is we had to leave the dining hall together during a fire drill, and we just walked down Commonwealth Ave, and then from that day on, we became really good friends. So you just learn to adapt to your surroundings, and other people couldn't.
Do you think that fostering changed how you see the world and the people in it?
It makes you more aware of the world and aware that not everyone has the same life as you do. And there's a lot more people in foster care than you could even imagine. I point to this example all the time when you're a kid and you're filling out permission slips in school, you see, you need a signature from a parent or guardian. I always thought that was weird. Everyone has a parent. Why is it parent or guardian? But that's not true. Quite a few people only have a guardian or don't have a guardian at all. And so a lot of people don't think about these things unless they have to. So I was forced to think about these things.
It's normal for someone who's going away to college to struggle with independent living, and making that transition is difficult for every single person who transitions to college and a new environment. In what ways do you feel that you were better prepared?
By my sophomore year, I was ready to move off campus and rent an apartment in my own name and have the bills in my name, and that's a big step for a 19-year-old. Most people didn't trust 19-year-olds in Boston to do that, and my roommate and I just wanted to be independent and be on our own. And I don't think most of my friends from high school who didn't have foster kids in their family would have been able to do that.
Well, one last question, Megan. Well, it's a two-part question. One, do you feel that fostering overall had a positive or negative impact on your ability to transition into adulthood and into college? And what would you say is advice you would give others if they were thinking of fostering?
Overall, I think fostering made the transition to adulthood a lot easier. The only negatives I see from it now are actually those who have not gone through the foster system or seen what the foster care system is like. I even received a text today from someone who said, "Why are you so empathetic? Why are you so nice to others?" And I just have to sit back and realize that they have a more closed-minded view of others. And maybe I am too empathetic, but maybe they're not empathetic enough. So overall, it's probably more positive than negative, but for everyone to remember with fostering, it puts a strain on everyone around you. So it's important to be aware of those strains and to, make sure you still have those connections with everyone.
Yeah, I think you brought up an important point, Megan, is that just because your family chose to foster doesn't mean that all of the people associated with you can really fully understand that. So if you were to point to one negative, that probably would be that not everyone can understand what you've been through. Is that accurate?
It is, and then you also brought up another good point, and that is our not immediate but extended family as well also didn't often know how to react to the foster care system and decided it would be easier if we just didn't foster and didn't know who to buy Christmas presents for and didn't know how to handle different situations. So it's being aware of others and helping them through that process as well.
Well, thank you, Megan. I think you gave a really good picture of what it was like to become an independent adult when you come from a fostering background. And I appreciate your candid nature because I think a lot of foster parents are worried that they have harmed their biological children. But what I'm hearing from you is overall, there were more positives than negatives. Is that fair to say?
I think so, because, we started off as a family of 5 and grew to sometimes 13 in the house. So, in all, I do better with family and more people around me, and it just became the house was always a sense of community. Anyone who wanted to be around people were there, so that was the biggest positive.
All right. Thank you, Megan.